Good morning, students. Welcome all of you to today's accountancy class. Today also we are continuing with our chapter admission of a partner, and the topic is accounting treatment of goodwill. So last class we discussed the calculation of new ratio. Okay, so today we will discuss the accounting treatment of goodwill. So goodwill, what do you mean by goodwill? How to value the goodwill? What is the treatment of goodwill? Those all things we already studied in the chapter change in profit sharing ratio. So change in profit sharing ratio chapter, how we treated the goodwill in sacrifice or gaining ratio. Okay, but at the time of admission, when a new person is admitted in the partnership business, that new partner will bring some amount of cash as his share of goodwill. So why this new partner is bringing his share of goodwill? So you think, suppose A and B are doing business for a long period of time, and you decided that from next March 1st onwards, one another person will be joining in your business as a partner. So all these years you were doing business, and already your firm is standing in the market. You have so many number of customers, you have a turnover, profit, everything you made in all these years with your effort, means with A and B. Okay, so suddenly a new person comes. So of course these two people, A and B, has to sacrifice some of their share in favor of that new partner. So for that, the new partner has to bring some amount of goodwill also. It's just like when we go to our relatives' homes, or when we go somewhere else, we purchase some gift for that people. So just like that only, this person or the new partner, when he is admitted in a firm, he is bringing some amount of goodwill to present it before the old partners. So of course, when the relatives go to when you go to your relatives home, if you are purchasing some sweets for them, of course you will not eat it first, you will give it to them. Okay, and it belongs to them. Here also, the whatever money brought in by the new partner as goodwill will be shared by old partners. So how they will share? In the sacrificing ratio. So in this chapter we need sacrificing ratio, we need new ratio also. That's why we studied first new ratio, and we need what? Sacrificing ratio. So I think it's clear. Whenever the new partner brings the amount of goodwill in cash, it has to be divided in sacrificing ratio. Understood? Okay. Now there are so many cases also in the treatment of goodwill in this chapter, so that also we will study. I am not discussing the calculation of sacrificing ratio, because that also we already studied in the chapter change in profit sharing ratio. So sacrificing ratio equation, sacrificing ratio equation is old ratio minus new ratio. Okay, so here in the question old ratio is there and new ratio is also given, then you have to calculate what? Sacrificing ratio. But if the old ratio is there and the new partner's share only given, then also we have to calculate what? Sacrificing ratio. But problem here is we have to calculate first the new ratio, and then only we can calculate the sacrificing ratio. But some cases directly you can take the old ratio as sacrificing ratio. That cases I'll tell you. Okay, so from the question itself you can understand. So here first we discuss on the different treatments or different situations related to treatment of goodwill at the time of admission of a partner. So here mainly three situations are there. First one is when the goodwill amount is paid privately. Second case, when the new partner brings his share of goodwill, that is called premium in cash. So whenever the new partner brings his share of goodwill, always remember his share of goodwill in cash. That is called what? Premium. We call it as premium for goodwill. So the word premium means where we use when the new partner brings the amount of goodwill in cash. Next, third case, when the new partner does not bring his share of goodwill premium in cash. So there are three cases. So when the goodwill amount is paid privately. So that case first we'll see. When the amount of goodwill premium is paid privately. So suppose the new partner is coming and joining in the firm, but they settled the amount of goodwill outside the firm. Matlab, they are not taking that amount in the books of accounts. So in the books of accounts of the firm, they are not writing anywhere the amount paid by the new partner. That is called what? Amount of goodwill premium is paid privately. So in that case, no journal entry is passed in the books of accounts. So what you have to write? When the amount is paid privately, you have to write there no journal entry. Understood? So first case is very easy. Second case, when the new partner brings his share of goodwill in cash. Now the new partner agreed that okay, this is what my share of goodwill and I am bringing it. So his share of goodwill, who will say to him? All the partners will calculate and tell him this much amount you have to bring. Means according to his profit sharing, how much profit he is getting from the firm, that much share only he has to bring as goodwill. Okay. So if he is bringing the amount of goodwill in cash to the firm, there are two alternatives. Okay. So under this method, two alternatives are there. So what are the two alternatives? When the amount brought in by the new partner is retained in the business. So now you be understood, the new partner is bringing the amount of goodwill in cash. Now the question is whether that amount is retained in the business or withdrawn by the old partners. So anyway, this amount will be shared by the new partners and it will go to their capital account. So whatever partners share, of course it will go to their capital account. Okay. So after transferring it to capital account, they have two options. They can keep it in the capital account itself, means they are keeping in the business itself, or immediately they can withdraw also. They can take away because it's their money only. Capital account belongs to the partners personal money from the business, that if they want, if they wish, they can withdraw. So immediately withdraw, that is the second case. If they retain, only retaining, only transferring it and keeping in their capital account, that is called what? Retained in the business. Means that money will be available in the business. Suppose 20,000 is the amount of goodwill brought in by the new partner C. A and B are the old partners. So if their sacrificing ratio is equal, so 20,000 will be shared by A and B in the ratio of 1:1. So 10,000, 10,000. This 10,000, 10,000, they will put in their capital account. So if they want, they can take away 10,000. So of course that 10,000 will come on the debit side also. So when they distribute, it will be on the credit side, and when they take away the money, it will be on the debit side. Okay. So journal entry will discuss. So this is the case. Understood? No? So when the goodwill is paid privately, no journal entry. When the new partner is bringing the share of goodwill amount in cash, so there are two cases. First case is the partners can retain it in the business. Second case is they can withdraw it. Okay. So when the goodwill amount brought in by the new partner is retained in the business. If retaining in the business, what is the journal entry? So journal entry will be cash or bank account debtor, this one, to premium for goodwill. Okay, so why cash is debited? Cash or bank you can write, no problem. Why cash is debited? Because cash is coming. Debit what comes in, so cash is coming in, cash is an asset, so asset increase, debit, so cash debited. Premium for goodwill, so whenever cash is coming and the other aspect will be credited, because it is a liability for the business. Whenever we receive money from anyone, that is a liability, that is a type of liability. Okay, here it is not liability, but we will be crediting it assuming it is a liability. Okay, now cash or bank account debtor to premium for goodwill, so the amount of goodwill brought in by the new partner. So in addition to this, you remember the new partner will bring capital also. So when capital the partners bring, we know the capital journal entry, cash account debtor to sole proprietorship also we studied it, cash account debtor to capital, that is the journal entry for capital. So here we write cash account debtor to partners capital. Understood? So when premium for goodwill also come, cash only will be debited. So when cash is coming in the business, cash is debited. So cash account debtor to premium for goodwill. Now this premium for goodwill will be shared by the old partners. So that time what will happen? This premium for goodwill will be debited. So see here, here it is credit. Now the same thing is debited here, so it is got cancelled. Now this premium for goodwill credit and this premium for goodwill debit got cancelled. Now money is, the cash is where in the old partners capital account. Now the remaining entry we can say cash account debtor to old partners capital account. That means partners capital account if you prepare, it will be where in the credit side of partners capital account. Understood? So the new partner is bringing the goodwill, this one, and is shared by the old partners in the sacrificing ratio. Remember which ratio? Sacrificing. The new the goodwill brought in by the new partner will be shared by the old partners in which ratio? Sacrificing ratio. Remember. Okay. This is the first case. Now second case, when the goodwill brought by the new partner is retained in the business. Okay, sorry, here one mistake, it is not retained, same heading again written. Okay, it is withdrawn, you make it withdrawn, typing mistake. Okay, when the goodwill brought in by the new partner is withdrawn in the business. So if withdrawn by the partners, okay. Okay, if the same amount, so new partner brought the amount of goodwill, then the old partners shared it in the sacrificing ratio. Now they wanted to take it away for their personal purpose, so that time one journal entry you have to pass in addition to the previous two entries. So previous two entries already we discussed, so previous two entries are this and this. In addition to these two entries, but this entry we will be passing, which one? Old partners capital account debtor to cash or bank. Understood? So partners capital account, if I show you here like partners capital, only credit side I am writing. Partners okay, debit also. Partners capital account by what will write? Premium for goodwill we write here, we share and write. But if they withdrawn, that time what will come? To cash. Debit side we write how much we debited, A, B. Understood? So both side it will come. If they, this is for distribution, this is for withdrawal. Understood? So in addition to the previous two entries, you have to pass this journal entry also. Okay, now one question we'll discuss. A and B are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. So their capitals are 1,80,000 and 1,40,000. So they admit X. So the new partner is X on the conditions that he will bring 67,500 as goodwill. Okay, and 1,50,000 as capital. So he is bringing capital and goodwill, and he will get 1/4 share in the profit of the firm. Okay, his share, the new partner's share is this, assuming that the capital and goodwill have been brought in cash by the new partner. So both the capital and goodwill he brought in cash. So in the form of cash, the new partner brought it. Pass journal entries and find out new profit sharing ratio of the partner when goodwill is retained in the business and goodwill is withdrawn by the old partner. So under these two cases we have to calculate. So they are asking for calculation of new profit sharing ratio also. Okay, so already I told you, to divide goodwill we need what? Sacrificing ratio. But in this question old ratio is given here and the new partner's share is given, new ratio is not given. So in these situations what to do? We have to calculate new ratio, then calculate the, find out the difference, old ratio minus new ratio equation you apply, you will get a sacrificing ratio. But one shortcut method is there that I will tell you. Okay, so this is the question. Now remember, goodwill amount is 67,500. So here first we calculate what? Sacrificing ratio. So for calculating sacrificing ratio we need what? Old ratio and new ratio. So old ratio already there in the question, 3:2. New ratio, here excess share is 1/4. So new ratio we don't know. So first what we have to do? We have to calculate new ratio. So we know old ratio 3:2. Excess share, the X new partner we are giving 1/4. So remaining share will be what? 3/4. So already I told you previous chapter, 1 minus 1/4. So that is why this what remaining share is 3/4. Okay. Now A's new ratio will be what? His older ratio into this remaining share. So his old ratio is, A's old ratio is 3/5. See here 3:2. So 3 plus 2 5. So 3/5 into remaining share 3/4. That is here. So what will come? 3 into 3 9. 5 into 4 20. So 9/20. So B's new ratio also same way, 2/5 into 3/4 remaining share. We have to multiply. So we'll get 3 into 2 6, 5 into 4 20. So this is the new ratio of A and B. Now X also we have to equalize the new denominator. So what to do? X is a share 1/4. So here new denominator is 20. So what to do? Here 4 no. So 4 into 5, 5/5. So 1/4 into 5/5. So it will be 5/20. Okay, so this is the new ratio of who? New ratio of X. So we can say new ratio is what? 9:6:5. This is new ratio. Now how to calculate sacrificing ratio? Old ratio minus new ratio. So old ratio we know 3:2 means A is sacrifice. So sacrifice ratio remember only for the older partners. Don't calculate sacrifice for the new partner, and it is not possible also because old ratio is not available for the new partner. So old ratio only for the old partners. So A's sacrificing ratio is not old ratio, sacrificing ratio is only for the old partners. So A's sacrifice is equal to 3/5, old ratio minus new ratio 9/20. This one 9/20 here also. So you take LCM and do it calculation, you will get 3/20. So B also same way, old ratio 2/5 minus 6/20. This one. So it will come 8 minus 6/20. So 20 is the LCM. So 2/20. Okay, so our sacrifice ratio we got 3:2. So this is the shortcut I am telling now. Old ratio you see 3:2. Sacrificing also you see 3:2. So when the question particularly asking you to calculate new ratio, that time only you calculate, because for this calculation also you will be getting marks. Otherwise, if they are not asked to you to calculate new ratio, and this type of question means old ratio is given in the question 3:2, and the new partner's share also given 1/4. Like this, these two informations are there in the question. So no need to calculate the sacrificing ratio. Sacrificing ratio itself will be old ratio. Understood? So if you calculate also, you will get 3:2 only. So our old ratio also 3:2. So whenever this type of questions comes, no need to calculate new ratio, then calculate sacrificing ratio. That much time you can save. Okay. So old ratio itself will be the sacrificing ratio. Remember the case when old ratio is given, new portion or the portion of new partner's share is given. Understood? So this case old ratio itself will be the sacrificing ratio. Okay, now what to do? This goodwill we have to divide. So goodwill amount already there in the question. How much? 67,500. So this 67,500 will divide in sacrificing ratio 3:2. So 67,500 into 3/5, it is 4,500. Means A will be getting 40,500 rupee from the total goodwill because he sacrificed more, 3/5. Now B's share 67,500 into 2/5, 27,000. So B will be getting 27,000. Understood? No? This X new partner brought 67,500 that both A and B shared. So A got 40,500 and B got 27,000. So how they divided? In the sacrificing ratio. So why in sacrificing ratio? Because due to the admission of the new partner who sacrifice the share more, that person will be getting more amount of goodwill. Okay, because next year onwards his profit sharing ratio will be less than the other partner. So now he is compensated in this way. Okay, so this way. Now we'll go to the journal entry. So journal entry, first case, two cases asked. First case, when the amount of goodwill is not withdrawn by the old partner. Not withdrawn means what? Retained in the business. When it is that first case, remember no? When it is retained, only two entries. When it is withdrawn, three entries. That three entry, only additional entry you have to pass. The first two entries are same only. So retained in the business means first we write what? Bank account debtor to X is capital to premium for goodwill. So capital also he is bringing. So compound entry we can write for both because bank is the common aspect in both the entries. Bank account debtor to capital, bank account debtor to premium for goodwill. This is the two entries. So we can combine this both. We can write what? Bank account debtor to capital uh, to premium for goodwill. So capital is 1,50,000, 67,500 is goodwill. So total how much? 2,17,500. This both you have to add and write here. Now this premium for goodwill, capital we cannot touch. Capital is the amount belongs to that partner. So that no one can share. Only goodwill amount we can share. So 67,500 already we shared in the working notes. A is getting 4,500 and B is getting 27,500. So here premium for goodwill credited. This is debited here. Okay. So premium for goodwill account debtor to A's capital to B's capital. Now A and B is getting this amount. So in A's capital account, B's capital account, what we write? By premium for goodwill we write and write this amount. Okay. This is what when they retain in the business. Now second case, when it is goodwill is withdrawn by the old partners. When they withdrawn, what is the journal entry? So first entry same. See bank account debtor to X capital premium for goodwill. You don't write same entries. You have to write it again. Then we have to divide it, distribute among the partners. Capital account premium for goodwill account debtor to A's capital to B's capital. Okay. Then in addition to this, one more entry will be passed. That also there. That is what they are withdrawing. They are taking away the amount. So what will come? A's capital account will be debited. A's capital account 4500, B's capital account 2700 to bank account. So capital account debit side to bank we will write. Okay, because their capital account will decrease. They are taking away the amount. Okay. So if they withdrawn, suppose 40,000 is there, A withdrawn only 20,000, then you have to write only 20,000 here. Half they withdrawn. Or like that, 3/4 withdrawn. Like that, any information is there in the question, that much only you have to debit. Okay. So how much withdrawn, that will be clear in the question. Here they are saying withdrawn by the partner, so we have to assume full amount they have withdrawn. Okay. So this is the case. So understood, no? So remember, goodwill, when the partner is paid privately, no journal entry. When the goodwill amount is brought in by the new partner in the form of cash, premium for goodwill in cash. So that time there are two options, that money partner can divide it and keep it in the business, retain in the business. Partner can retain, keep it or distribute it, and then they can immediately take away, withdrawn also. So first case 2 entries, second case 3 entries. In 3 entries, only third entry will be new entry, other 2 entries are the previous case entry only. Okay. So this much only for today. Hope you understood. Anything is need more clarity, you kindly contact me. Okay. So thank you so much. This much only for today. Thank you. Take care. Bye.